above normal as you get down to the southwest and southern states. And as you know, we've been having mild spells, cold spells. Right around Christmas Eve, we got a little cold. Then we warmed up about mid-January, then we've been going back and forth. A week ago, with that heavy snow sleet. I thought I'd take a look at snow cover. This is yesterday, 18Z. Looking at snow cover across much of northern PA, western PA, up into New England, southern Canada. Some clouds across here, so from here south, we couldn't see much in our area yesterday. Lake Ontario, much of Lake Michigan, most of the lakes have minimum ice. Lake Erie is pretty much frozen, so that limits the lake. Going further out in time, this is going out into early June, June 7th. These basically this here is the 30-day outlook for is it going to stay warm? Is it going to stay wet? We're looking at temperatures through early June here, sort of looking at below normal across the northern tier states, dipping down in the Ohio Valley. We're kind of on the edge here, and above normal across the southwest. Precipitation, kind of what we've been seeing above normal out to the west here across the Ohio Valley and below normal across the southern tier states. For Harrisburg so far, December was below normal. January's been below normal by about 1.5 degrees. Despite the really cold weather in early January, late December, it's below normal in Harrisburg, but not a huge amount. December is very dry, 2 inches below normal. Snowfall, I had a couple of low storms, adds up actually above what we had last year. We had 5.6 inches versus 0.8 inches last year. January, temperature departure about the same, 1.5 below normal. A little bit wetter, actually above normal precipitation now. 4 inches even, 1.12 above normal. Snowfall, not a huge amount, consistent with December, still about 5 times what we had last year. Moonsport, summer was just about normal temperatures. January about 1 degree below. That's pretty consistent across the state. Precipitation again was dry in December, basically less than half of what we should have had. And this month's been January's been above normal, and this month's been trending that way. Snowfall 7 inches versus 3.3 inches last year. I thought before I get into the short-term weather, I'd discuss what's been going on further west. I've had the fires in California earlier in the season. Basically, I noted on Weather World that much of the lower 48 is not all that moist. Quite dry across western Oklahoma and western Texas. I heard on Weather World that Amarillo is like gone over 120 days without really any precipitation of it. So that's a record last summer. So, makes you wonder about what's coming up. Things to pay attention to as we're heading into spring and summer. It stays dry out there where we get more elevated mixed layers coming off the plains, maybe more severe weather downwind, or where everything changed. Kind of early yet for hurricane forecast. I think Colorado State's thinking based on the current patterns that the La Nina might be a little more active. Instead of high weather. Okay, thank you. Right. Good enough. Sunday.
Oh, you want to use these? Those are the touch interface doesn't work.
Okay.
There you go.
So how about try and get the name.
Oh, I've never used it before.
Are you trying to get the plumes?
No, the eyeball. The Penn State.
Yeah, the plumes from my wall, that's all I use it for.
That's,
Yeah.
Go back, Jake,
okay.
Go back,
and then there's a room thing that
See the
says plumes,
plumes?
the dot, go down to
keep
the
going.
right.
I don't know, yeah,
UFS.
I mean, that's what I use it for.
I don't know these.
Yes. Something else though.
There's no right one. You just want to do a left click. It's not unflippable. There you go.
Oh, it shows some current data. That's the current satellite here. Basically, you can see some clearing out there, and we're in the low mid 60s now. And, take a second to get used to this.
Okay, so if you look at that and then you have someone drive it around a little bit, or do you want to? Yeah. Okay, I mean, yeah. All right, now, right, now, thank you, I appreciate it, but, so I just want to let you know, I'm coming
Currently, even though the weather is fairly warm, we don't have any watches, severe weather up for everything. But these are 850 temperatures here. Basically, you get down the Ohio Valley, looking at +9 here, west-southwest flow about 30 to 40 knots.
I don't need it.
Look at yesterday's temperatures here.
Well, I think, I think I'll pick it up, this afternoon, and I can drive around a little bit, and then need be, I can take it in the morning. If the light comes back on, I'll be back in. And so,
Current surface block shows low over south of James Bay here, a couple weak lows across out west of us into the Great Plains and western Kansas. Really cold, high pressure still over the Montana area. Temperature is down, basically single digits and teens. Gonna go over to GFS here and just loop through some of this. This is for
Well, I think one of the, I'll pick it up.
basically
I'll drive it around tonight a little bit, I'll drive around tomorrow morning.
looking at upper levels here in the top left, surface pattern to the right here, current conditions.
Nothing happens. I'll keep driving without anything comes on back. No, I understand very well. I mean, you don't want to go into surgery long, you don't want to get sick. Yeah.
Seems Israel. And down. Easy to pay. Anyway, this is a GFS here and looking at basically some moisture working in here and some precipitation later.
Could I just, could you just send the photo back over? Yeah. Thanks so much. Yep.
So going forward here, we're looking at basically bunch of weak lows here moving across here. Okay, so the question is what's going to happen, and we're looking at again really cold air building into the central plains here later tomorrow. Prior to that, we're looking at some moisture, but we're not looking at any severe weather threat. We do have a flood watch across southwest PA in Somerset County, and as this front crosses with reasonably high heights, difficult to see much severe weather threat or consistent heavy rains. We've been having starting Tuesday night with the sleet came across the northern part of town. Just running through clusters of showers ahead of us. A warm front, with the warm front, now a cold front tomorrow. And pretty strong convection here later tomorrow. And then some question mark first part of the weekend and Sunday morning whether we get wave to the south. Well, lately with a west-southwest flow, we've been picking up a little bit of moisture, but when I was up in the office yesterday, it was not looking so certain for much snow up there. Been some variation between the Euro and the GFS and some of the American models. I don't look at the Canadian, which basically what would happen. And basically a high pressure builds in, like you got this strong ridge across the west and very fast flow, short wave dropping down into the plains, and really strong heights off the southeast coast in Florida. Some models 10 days out, like the Euro, has been indicating 592 heights. So abnormally high heights. I think they're higher than what they had last year. I don't recall the details. So it's going to late Friday, first part of the weekend, looking at really strong convection. Probably dry out before we get much frozen precip on the backside of the front. And question is whether there's a decent rate to the southeast for Saturday afternoon and evening. I'm not very convinced there is. And as we go into next week, it really get back into warm air again. This is the GFS heights, and chart's a little bit smaller, basically going out in time, looking at this basic ridge off the southeast coast. So even if it's getting cold for a couple of days, we can evac really cold air in from the north, given the source region. Difficult to keep cold air here like we did in January. With high heights, it's going to be hard to get any major snowstorms. You can give more potential for the mixed freeze. Basically, that's all I had. Open up for questions, comments, concerns. Yes.
I wonder what your take is on the Saturday night event.
I think right now it's going to be very minimal snowfall. Be lucky to get, which don't think there's enough. The systems are moving so fast and there's not that much amplification.
For the past couple of days, Euro's been hinting at 70s potentially, middle of next week. I know GFS and others haven't had that same warmth. Have you had a chance to look at that at all?
I think once we lose the snowpack here, anytime you get westerly flow, it has some potential. Given how we still have snow cover today, we're doing pretty good out there. The problem is, going back to the mixed precipitation, the problem we're getting into, especially as a forecast off. It could be up in Erie, frozen Lake Erie, and on the cold side of the front, sleet and freezing rain and some snow when we're warming up. Be down here in Harrisburg, Philadelphia in the 70s. Very fast moving systems like Tuesday night when I was at work, a cloud of warm convection, rain and sleet came across there. It went Clearfield County to Cape Cod, span my shed 8 hours. Here it was 33, 34 degrees, not a lot of problems. North of Scranton, 81, there was some wrecks. Actually had to shut the road down. Susquehanna County, PA, also some wrecks over in New Jersey. Just very fast moving precipitation. Binghamton, our office did put a SBS out, special weather statement. Whether you call it a special weather statement or a winter weather advisory or freezing rain advisory, if something's moving 60 knots, and the models don't have it moving that far east, it's not, midnight, not that many crews out there that are available to jump in the snow plows and pump salt. Unfortunately, there was some wrecks Tuesday night. It was interesting last night. I was driving past Top Tree about 9 o'clock. It was pouring rain. The state was putting salt on the interstate. I think they were nervous. Well, got a lot of potential to have some fast-moving systems. 10 days out, to get a situation where you can bust the temperature forecast a lot. We have some, small scale features go by, put down 5 minutes of sleep, freezing rain. It was Monday night when I worked, the models had some chance of freezing rain sleep in Johnstown or some Tuesday night, but nobody I saw had anything further out towards Long Island, Jersey. To me, it's a very tricky forecast. 2 years ago, it was warm, dry. Last year, much of the month was warm. Didn't do anything. Anything else?
Any other questions for Dave? I'll give him a round of applause. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming out. Next week we'll have Ben Reppert for the discussion.